toenails. More people in Britain today. I would start the. Anyway, people in Britain today are using. Oh, I forgot the line. Hurrah, that's it. Cut. I'm not saying that line. Where's the director?
What's the problem, Mike?
I think you know what it is. I'm not going to say that. I don't have to put up with this. All I'm asking you to do is to make something original. Do you know there are some people in the world who give their right arm to have me, to have half of me, because they haven't had anything funny for a whole week. I'm telling you this. I'm leaving.
I really have no fucking words really to say about this fucking situation. I put a lot of effort into these videos.
Another thing, no more bloody plums. Holiday time.
What are we gonna do?
I'll tell you what we're gonna do.
You may think I'm happy, you may think I'm sad, you may think I'm crazy, you may think I'm mad.
This isn't the same. We can't do this without Michael. Time's shut down.
Well, it's Michael you want. Consider looking through here.
I thought I'd begin with a joke. What do you call someone with a hook about that thing? Ben Sylvania, master baiters. Well, yeah, exactly. There she is, you see. These stupid people cut up my poem and deliver it in this bastardized form. These stories have been called at various times due to poop. How dull can this be? The sight of a YTP used to fill me with horror. But not anymore, because I realise how creative you need to be to make these films. I think this is round about the best piece of storytelling that I've ever come across. So please continue, because this is the carrier of wisdom in the most accessible way we have. YTP forever. Here's a special YouTube for all you collaborators from me. Hi folks, what are you doing this summer?
Nothing. Support.
Well, how do you fancy sticking golden retrievers up your butt?
Yeah!
I feel a chant coming on. All you have to do is get down to your local library, head for the local library and ask for the local library. Tell them, my feet hurt. It's hurting. All you have to do is get down. Hundreds of thousands of children across the UK are Michael Rosen, and they want global domination and a Team Read poster. Right, so Rosens, are you up for the global domination?
Yeah!
We were doing solid. Everything in the universe is dead. Yeah. Take something solid, it up enough, and it'll become a fart. It up more, and it'll become gay. Haribo whispered to me, "Hey." Yeah, I said. You have
no life whatsoever.
Yeah, he said.
No life.
Science. Today I'm talking to the wonderful boy called Cameron. Mallory, hello.
Hi.
Mallory, we're going to talk about writing.
Well, that's a really interesting question because...
Mallory, thank you ever so much.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you, Michael.
Okay, so let's choose a book. We've got some of your books here. Let's read out some titles. So we know we've got Fuck Boy, we've got Coming Inside Blackman, and of course we've got the famous Noughts and Crosses.
Yeah.
Sis.
Yeah, that was my 50th book.
50th?
Yeah, 50th.
50th?
Yeah, that was my 50th book.
Is that your 50th book?
Yeah, 50th.
50th?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
50th?
Yes.
So look, you've written whatever. Just see if you can go back to the beginning. So what was that moment when you saw the story? Was it instant? Did you go, ooh?
It kind of was, because I was reading through this article, absolutely fascinated. And I was sort of reading it, and as I sort of read through it and the science behind it, and
It went on for ages.
Can I have a drink? I want some crisps. I want a whey.
do you want me to sort of tell you a bit about the beginning?
Well,
Shall
if this is where you started.
Yeah, it is. Well,
yeah.
it starts, I'm going to die.
Okay.
I like to eat apples and bananas.
So these books.
No!
Okay, so no. You ever so much.
Swimming allowed! No!
Splash, 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 splash.
Mud! Beware the Jabberwock, my son! The jaws that bite, the claws that catch! Mud! Rubbish. Cocks are physical things with a shape and size. Big is one size.
Who are you? You don't get to speak. One Michael Rosen with two more near. I'm writing to tell you that Colin, the jellyfish, escaped my backside. Hello, and welcome to this week's Eating Aloud. Can I have massive, extra large with cheese? On toast. That's 260. No, surely not. The boy is disobeying. He's not doing as he's told. Sad and disturbing diet. Thanks very much. Terrific. They're where they've whipped up the school we visited and turned a drama into a time crisis.
What? I don't.
Also, in this week's programme, we'll be meeting the man.
I think that's what kids like.
And how this D.H. Lawrence classic inspired a cult. What happens when we've got cake, but no extra large with cheese? The problem.
No breathing.
This is scary, nasty stuff. It's a bit like climbing back into my own brain. In the air. Oh no! Carmen's story, told in the novel Tough, Grimy Bagels, has been entertaining the girls at school in Birmingham, where they've been working through the many issues raised in the book.
I always tend to start a book by reading a choice of activities. There are 16 activities. I'd like you to work in groups of activities, and I would like you to do 8 of the activities in your activities.
So let's look at some of the activities you mentioned.
Activities.
What did you do?
We will get you through this. And your name. And your name. What? Carmen. What? Carmen. What is your problem? I have one.
Drama.
I have a problem, but I don't.
We chose a stick.
So what do you think the students made of the book? Do you think the students were happy with the way the book ended? The incredible success of Harry Potter is sometimes seen as a bit of a bitch blessing. Bad that it's got kids reading again. My view, not or the view of fantasy writer Oktay Yildirim, who's one of the biggest names in fast coming. We caught the man at one of his many public appearances.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a very warm welcome to O.
Has anyone read any of my books at all?
No.
That's good.
I just want to tell you all, go fuck yourself.
The Burnout series is a series, so it's a mixture of comedy, suspense. I think that's what kids like about it. Humans aren't smart enough to find the assholes in their trousers. Make me nervous. I think we all know who I'm talking about. Every year they have a crazy Irish person. We have 3 crazy Irish people. I'm a witch. Okay, you're in.
And now I'm a wizard.
Very funny toilet comedy. Well, that's it for now. One last thought. Reading aloud makes you get. I'm going to get these fucks. Bye for now.
Michael.
I can't stand it anymore. What's wrong?
I personally know Michael.
No, I'm Michael Rosen.
We live in society.
Brother, I'd say that's pretty sad.
I think that it's very easy to be taken an exceedingly painful frontal lobotomy. Metaphysics, the link and teeth.
I agree.
Liberal.
You're wrong.
I want the power. Power.
By. The Michael Rosen raps and music depend on rhythm. Heaven? I mean rhythm of the train.
Get off me!
Poems have
Souls!
sometimes simple, sometimes
Now I know what we're all thinking of.
complicated. Rhythms can come from your dick. Milk, Shakespeare. Often what Michael and Harkleys lead crusade EV. We're going on a bear hunt. We fucking crazy!
I was born on the 7th of May. I remember very well that awful day. I was with my mother, curled up thick. All I had to say was dark and night.
Dick. But for Mum, they weren't very real. Malcolm is on top of Mum. Listen, cracker snacker. Billy with the blue teeth is Usain Bolt. Wow. Who are we? Said Uncle Gob.
Oh, come off it, Derek.
I can't get a moment's peace round here. And that's it. That's where I am an
Internal combustion engine.
rubbing the side of his nose. Hi, my name's Gene, and I've written a book called Working in China and the Dread Shed with no pictures. It's called Uncle Gob and the Dread Shed. And it's all about a boy called Mum and his great friend Guy. Now, Malcolm lives over there. Hello! And Uncle Gob is a weasel. No. Horrible. And what does Uncle Gob want to do with Malcolm? He wants weasels in the Dread Shed. Hello, everybody. Now then. That's kind of you should get it right. I love what? What are you doing? I said. Okay. So, if it's possible for me to stop talking.
Shut your eyes. Take a breath. Oh, you've gone all quiet.
Where are we now? Where is this again? This is, Go on it. Right. Right, now look, we've come out here. Which way? Restoration is taking place. Where we are. Yay! Yeah! Got a nice big clock. Come in 9 times. Oh yeah. The end.
Doctor, shout, good Lord, he can talk. I don't trust the Labour government to look after my long and hard cock in the way the NHS, so I'm voting Tories on June the 8th, 1948, and I hope you'd fuck off. People say to me, well, how come you're here to tell fuck? So when we look at the National Health Service, who created that? I should know. It was created by me, Mike Rosen. And what do we see? There were consultants running round the corridors trying to find patients in Merkatron. That's under Michael Rosen. Only the Tories can make it safe. This is a disaster. No. Hundreds of thousands, probably millions of people murdered by Michael Rosen. There is no peace. He will try to break this country. He will do all he can to bomb council housing. That's wonderful. Hi, I'm Michael Rosen. I'm a writer, former children's writer, and with my other hat on, I'm a professor and teacher of children's literature at Birkbeck University. Okay. I've been looking at the resources in the field, and quite honestly, I am amazed. With just a few clicks, you can bring into your class the massive clicks of pthooie news, going back to the end of the 900th century. Actually, to tell you the truth, I think we're on the verge of new kinds of sex with all these resources, new kinds of class, offering pupils much more control over what they learn and how they learn, and how they learn, and what they learn and how they learn. I'm hoping you'll grab my ass to please me, get away from those dull, badly drawn Michael Rosens, and instead help your pupils engage next. So, now I want to tell you in much more detail what's here, and how it's here, and how it works. Here, and how to fix here. The London. Hello, I'm sure we can all recall the terror of being locked in a box as a child. This week on Reading Aloud, the programme full of inspirational ideas for the classroom, we uncover remarkable children with remarkable tics. We uncover with just such a situation. Also in this week's programme, we put sharp knives into children. We uncover the disease. We don't pronounce this the same way every time. And our panel pick Purple Hibiscus, a Hornet novel sex. But first, an author.
I had a 3-year-old daughter. It's very hard to get the attention of most of them.
Something was bubbling in the old white cabin. Glug.
Right, this story's called...
The reception class at Woodview Primary School has been enjoying the sex of their teacher, Sue Hawker.
Nobody was there.
The main thing I wanted to get out of the children was about the feeling of being... I wanted the children to think about their own being lost. Yeah, so we did obviously a role play situation where they acted out.
Do you know, in this country, 6 adults have difficulty with breathing? So where does it all go wrong? Do you like reading?
No.
You don't like reading?
No.
You don't like reading?
No.
You don't?
No.
You
None.
You don't?
No.
You don't like reading? Why not? Is it boring?
Yeah.
Do you read the newspaper at all? Or?
No.
Right. Synth music. Coming in as if you haven't had enough. Soon, every school will have to use this method of sex. Hooray! If it works, use it. End of story. Bye. Well, I've got a bit of a problem. First of all, it's only had one trial. And the school where it was trialled, some say, had a little bit of extra help. I think you know what I mean. But there's another. Now for a novel. So a scene there where Kambili's father is eating her ask for not coming first in class. I think no! Bye!
This is Bass FM.
Hello and welcome once again to Bass FM, and we've talked to Gareth Malone, who's starting a new channel, but I don't think I've spoken to Shu. Thanks for coming.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Brighton Festival, Shu, and you know, obviously poetry involved in that.
The idea is there's a character called Next who runs the most amazing theme park there ever has been. If we don't finish it, he'll throw me off the Twin Tower. And my granddaughter's very, very worried because she doesn't know whether she's going to get a free ticket or not to go to see it.
Sorry,
it wasn't Ray Guns,
okay,
it was
fine.
me.
Just checking, Jones.
Fucking shut up!
Thank you. Woo. I noticed that after Snowman had melted, there was no snowman. Well, I'm very serious about women who come because I have slept with everybody. I'm not quite sure where they came from, but the first companion was a man. And the man's very interesting because he can't stand anything. We just a moment ago were sitting round a chair with my sausage on it. And then no man's got into the country. So I've got gay sausage and I've got no companions. In some schools, children have faces. But then what happened was that Michael Rosen escaped an asylum because he didn't want to bang everybody. Why? And then Michael Rosen came hummus. Prince George, well, he's a bit of a cunt. Not just a patriot, he's an English snowman. Scots. I don't know why he's living in my house and I tell him he's got to go, but he's a prick. So I now end up, my tweet name is Michael Rosen. No. So fuck everybody. Male, female, everybody. She just bangs everybody. So, and I've got Smiley Face who's fucking minors. It was a place in West London that most people try not to go to, called Bang Children in the Castle. And I've got George. He's a young chap who isn't even of age. He's living in my house and I tell him he's got to bang me.
Yes.
No. So he's an asylum fighting against the tyranny of smiley faces. And it was called Bang Women from somewhere between the eastern part of Europe and the western part of Europe. She's possibly slept with everybody. So when people mention Roosevelt, I don't know, a famous snowman, Picasso, she's slept with them all. Quite often.
Thanks, Michael, for your time.
F*** you. So Peter Forbes, you should say your full name. First of all, a big congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You've won the Warwick Prize for Literature with Mimicry.
Thank you very much. Thank you for choosing it.
Well, it's not the rest of the panel. It's just me. I shot the rest of the panel. But I tell you what I do. I think last time we met, you were editing me. A fine edit with a wonderful lineage. But my question is, when I opened this book, I thought, it's the shit. So tell me about this journey.
I read chemistry for 3 years. By the end of it, well, not even by the end of it, this was the 60s, and what I really wanted to do was play the 60s.
For the 60s was astonishing.
When I left university, I did Steve jobs, but I knew I wanted to write. Steve jobs, and it was a very long apprenticeship.
So, how did you set about writing a book like this? Because you are very copic in your approach. You amass.
And now for something completely different.
Poet, performer and broadcaster Michael Rosen has over 140 children.
1, 2, 3, Michael Rosen being interviewed.
Boom! Ah, that was the mistake, slamming the desk lid down.
The very first story I wrote, I stole. There was a book called Solomon the Cat. And I thought it was a very good book, and my teacher thought it was a very good book. I was 7, and my teacher was 7, and my teacher was the cat, and my teacher said, Meow!
You also write for adults.
Yes.
Your most recent book is this one right here.
Solomon the Cat.
And what drew you to this story?
I stole Solomon the Cat. I think I could die, though. You don't make chicken soup with bits of chicken. What do you make it with? The cark. You bung the cark, you boil it for as long as you dare, All right, sorry about the baby farming and baby killing and so on. And you dare bring live to my lair with a few bits of veg and a bit of meat. Cool, you take a bit, and that's your poop. There you go. All right, that's how you make your Jewish poop. According to my mother, it's known as Jewish penis. Thank you. Which, in its own way, is mildly retarded. Who is this? This is Emil. You may know him through 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5,000 of his YouTubers. What are we looking at here? We're looking at Emil caricatured as the king of high school. He is smearing caca internet on the map of France. Caca internet in French means internet shit. And he's smearing it. But what does that mean? What is the internet shit? This is a YouTuber, and the YouTubers are, of course, an international conspiracy who want to take over the world. Wait, no shit. That's the wrong Emil. Who is this? This is Emile Zola. He wrote an article called JacKadabra. I haven't asked. Captain Alfred Dreyfus supposedly took a leak on some treason. Who was Dreyfus? Dreyfus invented modern anti-Semitism. When I say anti-Semites, it doesn't mean what it means as we're sitting here now, meaning someone who's a Jew. It's someone who has a thing about breastfeeding, which in the time in France would be seen as a contradiction in terms. How could you be an officer and an officer, when if you were, you must be an officer? East, because Dreyfus had been sentenced in 1894, and sentence meant death, because basically they stuffed the baguette. Up your last, don't believe Papillon, no one ever got away. So the next picture we see, which you can hardly see, is in fact the see about Zola, because where did he come to? He came to England.
No one ever got away.
Those of us of a certain age will remember England. It don't exist no more. So Zola arrived, and so he arrived, he couldn't speak a word of English. The only thing he had on a piece of paper was the piece. So he went to the cabbie and said, please take me to the hotel. He didn't say that because he couldn't. So he just pointed at the piece, and the cabbie tried to tell him that the hotel was next door. Zola was next door, so the cabbie took him next door, and so he arrived. There he is, shitting huge piles of shit in front of him because Zola was a naturist. So here he is writing a novel called Picdalité. Picdalité has been translated as fruitfulness, but the novel itself has never been a novel. Why not? Because this is a novel. It's a kind of novel. On one side of it, Zola describes a novel. So babies are being shipped out with a tiny little amount of money, and the provincial women and the die. And the other die. I won't translate that. Zola was an unbelievably shit amateur photographer, perhaps one of the first semi-amateur professional pornographers. He took over 9,000 pictures, and one of his first demands was that he had pictures while he was here. So, you know, this is perhaps taking dog loving to extremes, and Zola himself was possibly murdered by me. The jury is still out on that, not that there was a jury ever out on that. Comme ça, je dois chier, merci.
Nine XXX. My rare round sex. My reg. My number plate. My car. Me. No one else has got that number plate. I wonder who's Michael. Hello, Michael. I'm Michael, and I'm writing to tell you that I'm a broken down, old brown Nissan Bluebird estate. Michael got smashed in, so I ordered a new one, and it isn't quite the same colour. The windscreen got smashed in, so I ordered a new one. The back of the driver's seat is falling off, so I've got it taped up with masking tape. And the springs are coming through my backside. We used to have a plastic mirror, tied up and dangling from the mirror. His name's Dangling Koch. He escaped. My car. Now he sits in the cubbyhole in the dash. Quite often, thieves get into my backside. Once they stole me. It didn't work anyway. Now they get in my backside, throw the window around, rummage in the rubbish bag, and then go away. They don't want an old brown Michael. And they don't want Koch.
Hello, I'm Michael Rosen, and I'm a poet. Here in my attic, we're going to look at some of the different ways that poems work.
work. I go out, and shout is a short dick for a short poet. But poets can stretch out over a longer dick.
Traveller from an antique land who said, 2 legs a desert, trunk vast and split in the tone, tatons, sands stretch far away.
Rhyming poems don't have to be serious. Coming, a pattern of rhymes, means you can kind of half guess the come that's coming. Then coming is part of the fun. Like in this poem, about a shush, he watches you take off your clothes, and excitement shows. But when you once get in his butt, his whole demeanour seems to change. He throws his body right about, and his cum comes out. His back is black, his stomach white. He has a very dangerous back. Down behind the dustbin, I met a dustbin called Gish. He didn't know me, and I didn't know me. It's a bit dark down here. They cut off my electricity.
Down behind the dustbin, I met a dog called Rosen. I said, "What are you doing there?" "I'm practicing a pose." But to me, he looked quite dead.
Mums.
Hello, welcome to this sad and disturbing reading aloud. Can I have cheese with cheese? 666. Number 9. Large with cheese. Can I have extra large with cheese? Thanks very much. You reading aloud. What happens when massive women become a problem? The story's seen through the eyes of a teenager whose mother is obsessed with sex.
If I was as big as you, I'd kill myself, Mum says, pointing at a picture of me. I look at her. I can see her bone. You'll end up like your nan.
LOL.
You'll always have to watch your weight.
Harry Potter is outdated, class-ridden tosh. Not my view, nor the view of fantasy writer Colfer, who's fast becoming one of the biggest names. We caught up with the man who's made children at one of his many public appearances.
Kind of naughty, but marvellous.
The charming and very funny Colfer, who could hold his own, I'm sure, on the stand-up comedy circuit. D.H. LOL fed in his dick in the novel The Rainbow. So, Jane, we got there a picture of Ursula's feet about wanting to be a T-Rex.
I think I probably was. A few years ago, I did research about what makes people come, and I found to my horror that it was all
Michael Rosen. So let's talk about the book. It's about people, they move, and yet Lawrence hangs in the air. Now, does that matter? Is it?
Reading it now, I think his ideas are
Ofsted are on the way.
Ofsted are on their way, and you know I can't. It's good teaching.
Well, that's it for now. One last thought, and it belongs to the children's Laurel. She says, reading aloud makes children loud.
I couldn't agree more.
Bye for now.
Hi, I'm Michael Rosen, and I want to give you some cock. I came across this fact that in 1948 I stole my father.
Is we have to somehow or other surround our children with
cock. Hi, Benjamin Zephaniah was playing with cock. Well, I thought I'd have a go.
I am. It's very exciting, and it's also, of course, very good to be doing children. This is a very important matter.
How do we encourage children to
have sex?
Not just in the classroom, but for pleasure as well.
As we drew near, we could hear the thudding of beating.
Children.
I've noticed on Twitter. Talk.
Well, I'm very snowy about Twitter because I have some companions. I'm not quite sure where they are. And I had conversations with a 2-year-old, but he got very sassy. Very sad because snowman melted, and I noticed that after Snowman had melted, there was
Laura.
And
which of these authors has refused to have so?
Welcome back to Don't Repeat, Michael Rosen. See you talk show.
Hey! That's my line. Fill the beauty parlour, why not?
I don't know if that would be so popular.
Now, I've been pilloried because I happen to have said that I thought that Harry Potter books were sexually explicit.
Enough.
Fucking crazy!
Down behind the dustbin. I'm not.
Butt sex.
Oh, too wet. You can probably guess the rest.
You guys are the ones that ruined poultry for everyone!
Right.
Oh, I've fallen down. And I can't get it.
It's a brilliant writer, Mr. Michael Rosen.
You okay?
Mr. Michael Rosen, Mr.
Me.
Down.
The end. And that story was called
We Were Doing Science.
Drug science.
Properties of the universe. Solid, liquid, solid, ice cube.
Just waking up in the morning, gotta thank God. I don't know, but today seems kinda odd. No walking from the door, no smoke. And mama cooked the breakfast with no pork.
Take something so warm it, and it'll become liquid. Fart.
Hey.
Warm it up more, and it'll become gas. Nice. Haribo whispered to me, "Hey, yay, yay, you could freeze a fart." Yeah! Hot food. Hot food. We sit down to eat, and the potato's a bit hot, so I only put a little bit on my fork, then into the mouth. Nice. And there's my brother, he doesn't like potatoes. Out of the mouth. And there's my mum, she's fucking my dad. I'm tired. My dad, what does he do? He stuffs a great big grape into his mouth, then that really does it. He pops his mouth and he turns to us and he says, "No, nice." He flaps his hands, he blows. Spits a bit all over his nice, great big tits. And he turns and he says, "What?"
Hello, Michael.
Hello.
We're glad you could come along to NoicePl.
Thank
We
you.
asked you to bring along food.
It's one of my favourite poems because, first of all, it's old. It is exactly what never used to happen when I was performing the poem at home. And then I really loved mealtime with me, my brother and my mother and my mother and my mum. And I think it was the time when I first discovered that my mum and my dad were different. Ooh.
Does writing your poem help you while you're performing it?
Yeah.
When you perform a poem, do you find that it's different every time?
Oh, yes. Yes, no, you might have performed it here today in a horrible television studio in front of no audience who cares about, you know, that silly little thing that goes... looking at the way people are reacting, so you might be really down. How can I put it? So somebody's trying to guess what would happen if it really was like that, and the thoughts, yes, I might have to wait for things. There might be somebody in the audience who maybe knows my dad, and so I leave and they go, "Ha, yeah, it's just like your dad."
Thank you for coming, Michael.
Well, thank you. Nice to see you. To see you.
To eat.
He's a real rock dog and he plays the drums. I just can't play.
Once upon a time. Can't stop. I'm hard.
Will Mr. Bookaboo please come back to the stage? Bookaboo to the stage. Bookaboo to the stage.
No, I'm hard. Whoa! Right, just read that back. Go away! I'm not gay! I'm not coming out!
Hello, Bookaboo, you okay? I just came to see what's causing the delay.
Rock and roll, man. It's a brilliant writer, Mr. Michael Mason. Now I'm going to be letting him go down.
Oh, no!
Trouble is, Mr. Michael Mason, I'm finding it hard. Trouble is, Mr. Rosen, I'm not coming out.
What? You're swapping the drumsticks for the pen?
Down, down, down the dark, dark street they came.
Walter's mum, stealthy as shite.
Then up went the sails and up went the flag. Then off sailed the rough, tough little girl pirates.
Don't just lie there. Do something.
Will Mr. Bookaboo please?
Do something. No.
Who cares?
You what?
If you don't give me my treasure back, I'll tell my mum! Only the moon was watching them when they left.
I'm not in this show.
Only the moon.
Ooh! Wow! Hello, on this Rosen, I'm on this nin. Just nin.
Have you tried the whizzy with the whizzy easy with?
Have you shared a book today?
Sophie Dawson next Friday on BBC 4. Words and pictures. Watch back at tube time 11. She past 11.
Hello.
Beneath my feet, I stood in the street, and beneath my feet, and beneath my street, and beneath my feet, I felt the purring and murmuring of tubes. All the people in that street switching away and phoning on and switching off and turning on. Buttons, taps, levers, controls. Whoa. And the pipes and tubes and murmuring of all the people phoning up, shops and factories, my feet in the street.
Michael, street slang is anathema to me, and I want it kept out of the classroom, because for me, and with the young people that I mentor down in Peckham in South London, I tell them language is power. When I hear young people speaking street slang, they sound as if they've had an exceedingly painful food. I want the young people that I mentor to be taken seriously by those...
I'm talking...
But first of all, let's go back on your notion of language is power. We have no evidence that language is power. We have evidence that money is power. And if we talk about street slang, it is only one kind of slang. Somebody like David Cameron, he spoke another kind of slang when he was at school. He spoke slang. We have no evidence that simply speaking one kind of slang actually prevents you from speaking slang. We are all capable of being bi-dialectal. That's to say, speaking two kinds of slang or more. So the key issue is, why don't your mates get back here?
Look at this dude. Wait till you see the... I don't like...
Hello and welcome to Reading Aloud. I'm standing on
St Pancras Station waiting for the train.
Money is spots for today's programme because we've got
a bag of...
Minim. It's the story of two boys who discover a big bag of... Nope.
Sometimes you see things, don't you? And other people can't see things.
You can't be trusted to do anything.
Can't stop, I'm hard. Right, just read that back. Baba.
Fuck this.
Hello, I just came to see what's causing the... You know, we're really looking forward to the... Cockman.
I'm sorry, Mr. Rosen.
Ah, but have you tried getting up on stage and doing the crowd? Look what I got here. Okay, put it there.
Again.
Okay, let's have a little look. We got the book. We got the book. We got the whizzy chair thing. I can see it. Yeah, here it comes.
It's blue. Yes, I do like that.
I died as I ride in my booty, take the corn. Yeah, I'm in and out the corpse. I'm the one that never stops. I'm the one that feels the beat of the meat, all that air in my face. I come between the feet that I meet. Wunk, 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 pace got the... No one...
I'm a baby.
Goes. Down behind the dustbin, I met a man called Jack.
Hey, how's
Where
it
are
going?
you going, I said.
Come on, let's go find an octagon.
Down behind everybody, I met a...
This is nonsense.
I don't know, actually.
Rubbish.
It's a bit dark down here, because they cut off... Who fucked it? I don't... Do what? Who taught me this? I can't remember. It goes, when I was 6, I ate a bag of plum. When we did spelling, it wasn't like the way you do spelling. You know, your teacher says, right, you've got some tonight, and then you go home, and have you got those things where it says, have you got one of those? Yeah, my daughter has that. Now let's do it the other way around. It's quite a few S's. Spin. I'm bored. Because you know what you've got coming up now is the coming test. And this is how it goes. Her finger starts roaming round the room, looking for some core, and then she's going to go, you! And then you have to stand up and just come in front of everybody, okay? Only she wasn't looking for somebody who could come. She was looking for someone who couldn't come, so they'd stand up and be shamed up in front of everyone else. This is what they used to call the shame hour. And I figured it out. If you didn't want her to pick on you, you had to look like you could come. How'd you look like you could? Like this. Other kids are sitting there going, oh,
Hi, I'm gay, and to tell you the truth, I think we're on the verge, we're on the threshold of new kinds of cooking with all these sources. I'm hoping you'll grab this opportunity by the pussy with just a few clicks.
oh.
If you could make a marvellous medicine, what would it contain?
Maybe some very sort of musky fart. When you smell it, you kind of, Obviously, farting is just stunning. I mean, it is wonderful. I love it.
Hi, I'm Dominic. This is an interview where we talk to somebody who you may or may not know about the big things in education.
Well, welcome to the first ever Sunday staff meeting. And you are?
Mary.
Right, that's your name. Where'd you come from?
The Bulge.
Right, okay. Very nice.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like so weird. And
yeah, I suppose. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Well, lovely, Dom. Thank you. Thanks for having me. What's that man doing over there? It leaves so many questions unanswered.
Rhymes can rhyme, but ideas can stick together. Of course, poems don't have to rhyme, but that's what we're going to think about. I go out, and shout is a short out for a short out. Out rhymes out, stretch out over a out, 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 and out. Rhyming poems have to be serious, or a treacherous monster will bite you. He watches you take off your clothes. He has astounding bright eyes, but seems to take no interest. And he doesn't seem to want to land on the sand. You've probably noticed that most songs went grey because I wore it all day. You've probably noticed that this shirt used to be red, and you can see my vest fell off. You can write poems that are like dirt for years to come. I'll keep the bits in this programme.
And they're all sitting there. Oh no, that looks like me not breathing, doesn't it? I met a called he me, and I
Head?
Anyway, here's the pickled onions. And they're all sitting in there going, and in there going,
Bookaboo, you okay?
Go away!
Are you okay?
Go away!
I just came to see what's causing the delay.
Go away!
Really looking forward to the whizzy chair thing.
I'm not coming!
You're swapping the drumsticks for the drumsticks?
I'm sorry, Mr. Rosen.
Bookaboo, if you don't get up on stage and do your concert, I'll tell my mum!
Don't look at me like that. Like I'm some bloody criminal. Do you know, I thought that the reason why my dad could speak another language, it was because he had a great-grandmother. He said, say what? I knew it was right. It was her, wait for it. Boof. Booze. Hello, I'm Farmer Michael. There's so much work to do on the farm today. Look at it. The kitchen needs cleaning, the bedroom needs cleaning, and I don't think it's my job to do it. So the duck did the work. When Nate woke up one morning, Kirby was standing on his butt. Nate gently came in his breakfast. But then the opposite happened. Instead of them come pouring down, it poured up, splashing all over his mum. The duck fucked the cow. The hens and the cow and the sheep got fat, so they stole the bed of the farmer. The bed started to rock, and the farmer woke up, and he never came back. The end. I stand in the street. And in my ear, I feel the vibrating. Woo! There she is talking. She's talking. Banging. Banging. Blow banging. Kaboom. 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 No, breathe in. You see what I did there? See what I did there? See it? So all we got to do now is put a sass in that end. No, that's a bad idea. So all we got to do now is put a hammer amble stirrup in that end, and then we can pulsating of tubes. And the tubes and drugs in my ear. Cue up. Cubes. All that air in my hair. The bag full of stop it. Bags. I will drink. I have to get up, open the cochlea and look out over the city, watching the lovers do turns they don't dare do in the day. Watching the lovers talking to a dustbin and a bus. Rumbustious, just as rumbustious. Nickel! Helen, it's 25 years. Oh shit. Force fed. I think I can actually, because I'm going to confess here, Helen. I breathed on your work, you see, and I was still stuck in my head. Why are you doing it? Stop it now. And I just went...
Bookworm!
What do we mean by intelligence? I'm sure the people around here... Get out of the way! Vicky, was there a way in which the book changed the way you think? Was there a before and after? Musical, testicle, popsicle, musical.
Children who do poorly in tests haven't got any intelligence.
And that's a fruit.
So in a way, Grant, you're saying you're singular.
Affect you, you reflect upon.
Push one child in one direction when that's not the direction they should be going in.
Well, after all that, I feel like a drink. Michael Rosen being interviewed.
What the f***?
I managed to
conceal this magic lantern.
Do you enjoy getting into that space?
Yes. You have a conversation with what you write.
Do you want an apple?
No.
Your most recent book is this one right here, The Disappearance of Emile Zola. The Disappearance of Emile.
Gee!
The Disappearance of Emile.
We're always on the search for interesting, significant, intrigue, symbolic stories of some sort or another.
We've talked to all sorts over the last few weeks. Can I start by talking about
Those only little black twisty ones.
I don't know. Hello, I'm Michael Rosen and I write poems. My father knew my mother, but my father's father's father. Sue the pants off them. Repeating things, you see. My dad, I never saw him at all. I so loved the jacket that belonged to the man I would have called country. So that's a poem.
In that all-important college job.
Let's go back on your notion of his power. Eaton, we are all capable of being They have sex. Morris Gleitzman, who said, when you write, you should always try to start as late as you can. And I think what he meant was... Doctor, give me a diagnosis.
Dead, sir.
Here in my attic, stick deers together.
Ugly smiles.
Why don't we chop some of the sentences?
Whizzing around the city. Whoosh! 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 Purple is like a play.
You can't say that.
Just a few clicks, you can bring into your classroom, say, my son's massive arse of pathetic news.
The best online content available, and it's all free.
Not anymore.
Badly drawn worksheets, breaking down the old barrier between home and school. The end. It's not long enough. Anyone got any jumper cables? I'm what's going on? I leave for 3 seconds and this is what you do. I don't believe it, I really don't. I'll tell you what, if this is how we play, I'm gonna have to bite the bullet. Or should I say, the plums.